Hello, whoever's there. I am sharing the live. You can help out by sharing the live. Trying to remember where I left off. Shelly Claus. Okay. Boing, 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 boing. I am boinking people. I left off at Sarah Bobera. Way, way over here. Sarah Bobera. Hello, whoever's there. I can't see you right now. I'm sharing the live. You can help by sharing, liking, following, all that crap. But share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, and I am done sharing. I've overshared. Alex Willickson, I can never read your name, but hello. Lizzie G, how are you? Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. I'm sure we're going to have a great time. Let me know if the Saints win. Don't let me know if the Saints lose. 3-point game, right? Last I checked. Uncle Birch shared the live with more than 10 friends. Can you do that? Can you share it live with more than 10 of your friends? That'd be great. Alexander. I guess I can see that. Yes. Technically, my son's kind of named Alexander. Sasha is the word for Alexander in the Baltic states, the Russian, Ukrainian states. And that's why I named him that. Why not give my kid the name of the fucking shit up? Huh. All right, my wife is texting me shit. Hopefully that's not fucking up the live. Enchanted Sage, how are ya? Lizzie G, thank you for the hearts. Uncle Birch, coming to you live from New Orleans. We got the gift giving challenge thing up here. I'm gonna leave that up there for a bit until we got enough people to bring people up in boxes, in case people know that. Amberella, how are you? Uncle Birch, come to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. Enchanted Sage, happy Sunday to you. I hope you went to church today. Just kidding. Alexander, thank you for liking the live. Yeah, you can do like Alexander if you're just sitting around. Tap on that screen and like it. We get more likes, we get more people here, and the haters have a harder time hating us. And if you want to get really froggy, you get 2 fingers going, get drumming. You want to get really crazy, you get 3, get 4. Get 4 fingers drumming on there. You can get like 4 times the likes in half the time, man. And if you like us more, then we get better ratings, more people come over. And when the haters try and take down my live, which they always do, if we're getting more love than we're getting hate, then we win, they lose. That's always a good equation. They are losers, they should lose. Absolutely. What was it yesterday? They were flagging me for harassment and bullying. Well, first of all, it's my live, and they came here, and I wasn't harassing anybody or bullying anybody. I was talking about the political situation in the United States, which is my right under the First Amendment of the United States to do. Last I checked, the Trump supporters were all about that First Amendment. It was really important to them. I gotta go check something. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I had to check the hose spigot over there because it was dripping. I had the hose turned on, so next time the dogs start barking, you're gonna get hosed. I'm sick of yelling at them. I encourage my viewers to share the live, to invite more friends. Card Sharks, how are you? Slavic something, I missed that, but hello, how are you? I was just talking about Slavic people, why I named my son Sasha. Though I am not Slavic. But Marta is from Ukraine, and so I gave Sasha the most popular Russian and Ukrainian name for a boy, which roughly translates to Alexander, and she gave him his middle name for my Italian side, Luciano. Love that. I love the way that sounds. My grandmother's from Ukraine. Right on. Yeah, my wife was from Ukraine. They got to leave Ukraine in the 70s because of all the anti-Semitism in the Soviet Union, which is funny. The Russians invading Ukraine to denazify it, when it's, you know, under the Soviet Union that there was so much anti-Semitism that they were allowed to become refugees here in the United States. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, teaching you history you probably didn't even know. She might have known, or Vedma. Yes, that's a she. She might have known. When the president of Jewish descent, yeah, there's that. There's fucking that. Yeah, it's a hard stretch. I mean, there is one unit in the Ukrainian army that does have those kind of schmatzy leanings. Unfortunately, they're the most effective unit on the battlefield. So, you know, nobody's going to give them too much shit. You know, they keep themselves. They, keep their anti-Semitism in their unit, but they are the most effective unit in the Ukrainian army. So, what are you going to do? Mate, why didn't I get notified that you was live? I don't know. I went through the whole list. I'm sure I clicked on you. We're going to leave the gift challenge thing up there for a bit until we get more people in here as usual. We have them too in the States, now it's everywhere. Absolutely. Well, we have schmatzis in the government. Most of them, literally running the fucking government. Never thought I'd see that happen. But we are the victim of a Russian disinformation campaign, bots and social media and that kind of thing. And I gotta say, well played, Putin. Well played, you bitch. Hey, thank you. That was really cool. What the fuck was that? Manifesting. Oh yeah, I love the manifesting, man. Thank you, Lizzie. That was great. And always remember, the Venmo and the Cash App are right up here. And I get all of that, and TikTok don't get shit. You give the gifts, TikTok takes the majority of those. So that's why I have the thing up there, because I really need enough gifts to make it, worthwhile. I don't have a whole lot of free time. It's business time. I need to be teaching witchcraft all the fucking time, man. Every format that there is. Because even though I started when I was 13 years old, I'm still obsessed. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the go popular. You're gonna go popular. Sebastian, thank you for liking the live. Yeah, for those of you that are new here, keep tapping that screen. If you're just sitting around, you can help out without doing much. Just tap that screen. Get 2 fingers going, man. Get 2 fingers going. Get 3 fingers going, man. Get 4 fingers going on that screen. Like the shit out of that damn thing. We'll get live with a whole bunch of people here, and it'll be a whole lot more fun. And when the haters start hating on me, it'll, they won't be able to hate on me. Been a while, no updates. Chiasuku Tuzi. Wait, Chia Tuzi. Ooh, thank you for that. NOLA updates. It's been like the 80s for days now, right after the winter solstice. But, climate change is total myth. There's nothing wrong. Everything's fine. But then Tuesday, we're going to drop down to somewhere in the 40s, but with the wind chill factor, it's going to feel like the 20s. And then Wednesday, we're going to swing back up to the upper 70s. So we are in the roller coaster stage And yeah, there's still people out there, you know, the same old witch war is going on in New Orleans between some of the shops in the French Quarter because the sassy magic people just can't play nice with others and are on a constant quest to seek clout, which they don't have. I remember I did a Facebook post about it one time. It was clout, clout, let it all out. These are the things you are still without. Oh, they were pissed. Quintink. Yeah, right. About what? You gotta be more clear with your sentencing. There's a lot of scrolling going on. Ms. Bo, thank you for following me. Yeah, be sure to follow, like, subscribe, whatever, and hit the little bell thing, get notifications when I go live. Thank you for the roses. Chiazuku's liking a live. Thank you for liking a live. We are at 4.3 thousand likes. Sorry, but that bird is pink. You taught me which 101, which 2 in Santa Cruz. Oh, okay, that's worth a follow if I'm not following you there. Quiet Ink. Quiet Ink. Everybody calls me Tink. Okay. All right, following you back. All right, that's taking me way back. So that was, well, that was probably in my shop because I wasn't teaching at the other shop that I worked at. I don't think I ever taught that. So, okay, that means you've been in my shop. Took 1 and 2. What name would I know you by in the world? Your craft name. Sinjin, how are you? Yeah, now you're gonna shut up. Yes, it was at our Mary. Were you known as Mary? What? Yeah, you keep doing that, you get the hose. Yeah, you put the bark on your skin and then you get the hose again. Yeah, I'm doing good, Sinjin. Good to talk to you. Yeah, are you getting it yet? You're Pavlov's dog, man. Action and reaction. Okay? You get negative reinforcement. So Quiet Ink, you were Mary? Let me see this. I can't see your profile. Really? No, I can't see your profile. I shop in Santa Cruz. Mary. Okay, I knew a Mary. Hey, Mary. Redbeard, how are you? I knew a Redbeard once. Irish Arctic Witch is here. How are you? Sushi, how are you? Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. That's what we spend most of our time here talking about. Even though I've been teaching witchcraft since I was 13 years old, I'm still obsessed. I can't stop. That's all I do on every social media platform probably that there is. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. You can try co-hosting with another creator to make your life more fun. All right. How do I do that? You're just showing me the chats now. That's not helpful. Okay, get off my screen, bitch. Oh my God, really? I'll get rid of this shit now. Oh, I shouldn't have pressed that. Swipe left to close, okay? Or left, other left. Street name. You gave my craft name is one of my spell name, but you did not approve of it. I didn't approve of your craft name? What? Okay, so what did I know you by? Big Cactus 1991, how are you? Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. Trying to figure out who this person I knew in IRL. I've got a flash goal, okay. Quiet Ink. Still, what did I know you by? What name did I know you by, Quiet Ink? Oh, God, almost grabbed the beer can that's an ashtray. That would have been bad. Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. Jenny, how are you? Mary Ann Miller. Okay, that Mary. Yeah. How you doing? Good to see you're still kicking. Hope you're kicking well. We, of course, went to New Orleans. Once I closed down the shop in Santa Cruz, we traveled all over California. Eventually ended up in Hollywood and West Hollywood, and then when it was time to think about moving to New Orleans, there was just nothing holding us back. So I said, well, they have internet there, right? That's all I need. That's all Marta needs. Let's fucking go. So we did. We fucking went. And it was the least difficult move ever. There was no path of resistance in between us and New Orleans. New Orleans wanted us here. It fucking took off, sold the condo in Hollywood like in 24 hours. And then fucking headed here. Quiet Inc. went to Oregon, right on. But hopefully you're not in the war zone of Portland. A war zone of Portland. I can't believe the world we live in sometimes. Yeah, Santa Cruz is, I mean, unless you know, if you're rich, sure. You could live in Santa Cruz. Springfield, Oregon. Right on. I know nothing of Springfield or where it is. Miss B, how are you? Thanks for joining. Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. I teach witchcraft for a living. If you have questions about witchcraft, stuff you want to talk about witchcraft, put it in the comments. Pretty soon, when we get up into the double digits, we will open up the boxes and bring people in. So you can be on screen, or you can not have your camera on and you'll still be in a box, and we'll get to hear your voice, and I won't have to read as much text. Fossil, how are you? Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. I ordered me I got coming probably next week, a mixing board for my phone, and I got a mic, I got headphones, so I'm gonna try and up my sound quality here. Oh well, congratulations! I'm a grandpa. My grandson just turned 1. I think it was the 8th, December 8th. Yeah. Enchanted Sage, thank you for liking the live. Hey! No, biting the hose is not going to stop me from squirting you. It's going to make you get squirted. You're going to bite the hose, it's going to squirt you right in the face, fool. Can you speak about the powers of conjure powders and also mojo bags? Absolutely. Well, conjure powders work on the principle of the magical properties actually touch the target. There are other ways to use conjure powders, but traditionally you sprinkle them in the path of your target, some place that they will walk, something that they will touch. It's used a lot in office magics, business disputes. You typically want your target to come into contact with it. There are other methods where you have a personal concern of your target that you would sprinkle with the powders if you can't get into contact with them. But powders are very old school, not just in conjure, not just in voodoo. They're used in witchcraft as well. It's typically cornstarch, some herbs, and sometimes some essential oils in them, and then they're all blended together, and then they are charged. Mojo bag can be a lot of things. Let's see. Let's see. As you can see, this is well worn. Here we got a Highjohn root, some galangal, basil, cinnamon, some rue, because I always like to put rue and everything. And unfortunately, since I have crazy fucking dogs, one of them dug up the bones of my black cat that are buried right over there in the yard. And a black cat bone, hard to get and really powerful for like money and luck and things. Even protection. A black cat bone is fucking powerful as fuck for all kinds of things. And this is my cat. I raised him for 25 years. Fed him, nurtured him, did magic with him. So it's unfortunate that his bones got exposed. But since they were exposed, I took me one, put it in here, and then buried him back up. Hopefully, deeper this time, so hopefully the dogs won't dig up. Yeah. I know. I thanked my dog for that. It's like, I was like, God damn it, you dug up the. Wait. That's the only black cat I've ever had in my entire witchcraft life. I always tried to get a black cat, but I would go to the shelter and I would always come home with a tabby. I always fell in love with a tabby. And then this is my one black cat of my entire witch life, and there's his bones right there. It's a gift. Gift right here. The thing is, with a mojo bag contains a spirit. The spirit gets attached to these things, so a mojo bag needs to be fed. The most common way of feeding a mojo bag is maybe like once a month or something like that. Lady Silver Willow Sage, group 13. Woo! You gotta feed it. You gotta feed the spirit. And the most common thing is spraying alcohol on it. Usually whiskey is most common, especially in hoodoo, southern whiskey, maybe bourbon. Probably be good. Spray it on it. Shotgun a cigar backwards on it. They want alcohol and smoke. All spirits, all gods, all deities want alcohol and smoke. Even all the way to the Native American traditions, man, they all want alcohol and smoke, and treats and things. So there's that, and then sometimes, I'll break it out and I'll rub it with like money drawing oil, that kind of thing. If you don't smoke cigars and don't drink, what do you feed them? Well, I don't smoke cigars. I blow them backwards. I don't smoke cigars. But, you could use something else. You could give them incense smoke. For a mojo bag, I'd maybe go copal, maybe frankincense. Frankincense technically is African, so it probably makes some sense. Macho Man Rel, thank you for sharing the live. I encourage you all to share the live, bring more people over here. Tap that screen like a crazy motherfucker. Get both fingers going, then get 3 fingers going, then get 4 fingers going on the screen. Like that thing in half the time. The more likes we get, the more people come over here, and the more that our haters cannot take down the live, because they will. Yesterday they tried to get me on harassment and bullying, and I wasn't harassing anybody or bullying anybody. And I didn't ask them to come to my live in the first goddamn place. Okay, what's this thing? No, I don't want that. What's that then? Pin notice, service, bio, boards, queue, direct message, blah, 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 blah. All right, we're getting up into the 14s. Aquarius, how are you? I suck at Roman numerals, so I can't say the rest. 10, 5, 15, 17, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna let the gift giving challenge thing run like one more time. Then we'll open it up, get Sebastian in here, and hopefully get some people up in some boxes, and we can have some more discussion, more learning witchcraft. That's what I do. That's what I do, and I can't stop doing it. And clearly, it's been 45 years, so I'm clearly not stopping anytime soon. Redbeard, thank you for liking the live. Jenny, thank you for liking the live. And always remember, why we got the gift challenge there, and Irish Arctic just gave me a go popular. I'm gonna go popular. The gifts are always great. But always remember that TikTok takes the majority of that. So if you really want to help out, encourage me to go live, all day, every day, and become a freaking reality show on TikTok. You get up there on my link tree, and you got my Cash App and my Venmo. A lot of people used that yesterday. And then, of course, there's Witch School up there. You can learn all this stuff from me all day, every day, even when I'm not here. Mary Mead, I sent you a PM question. It might be a dumb question, so I don't ask it in the chat. Okay, but always remember, I do not believe in the concept of a dumb question. There are dumb opinions that are derived from not asking questions. We're not asking the right questions or not asking enough questions. Ignorance is dumb. Asking questions is never dumb. End of the month is hard. I'll have to wait till I make some more coins. Okay. Always remember the Money Magnet sigil. It's on my feed. You scroll back, you'll see this crazy sigil. To hear the ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. Every time it chings, money comes to me. So that's it. That sigil is pre-charged back there from Mary Inc. Whatever, something Inc. I forgot what it was. That was back from I think her time. She might have even been there when we created that sigil. We created it in public. We're very loud about it. We launched it to Google Images immediately. Launched it all over the internet. And it's been on the internet for close to 20 years now, and it derives power from everybody that looks at it, everybody that uses it. So even when you're totally broke and you don't have the energy to do a money spell, you can use that sigil and call forth all of the power of all the people that ever did it, ever used it, ever looked at it, ever saw it. Okay, we got 26 seconds of the gift-giving challenge thing. I thank you for playing. You still give gifts too, and of course the Cash App and the Venmo's right up there still. But I'm going to turn that off so we can get people in boxes. Suspect, how are you? I'm suspicious about you. Rachel Detroit, how are you? Ooh, thank you for the balloon crown. Love it, love it, love it. I'm good, Suspect. How you doing? It's lovely weather in New Orleans. I think it's the upper 70s with a slight breeze, which is just totally wrong, but I'm eating it up anyways. It ain't right, but ooh, title gifter. What was that? A rising star and a donut? That was cool. Both of them kind of came on at the same time or in sequence. That was really cool. Witch fit. Hello. Oh, I gotta turn off the thing. Hold on. How do I turn the thing off? Come on. Oh, hey, no. You bastards. Wish queue end. And the wish queue. Oh, thank you for them. Ooh, manifesting. That's one of my favorites. There's a little baby dragon that's really cool too. I haven't seen that one in a while. But sometimes they change it up and some things aren't there anymore and they come up with new things. But Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. Hopefully we're talking about witchcraft because that's what I spend all of my time talking about for 45 years or so. I'm still obsessed. Clearly, it was not a fad. People said, oh, they'll pass. It's just a fad. Yeah, it didn't work out, did it? Urban Druid, good to see you again. Catman216, thank you, good to see you again. Witch Dragon DV, good to see you again. Marie R. Castro, good to see you. I may have lost Sebastian. He's got a short attention span, but he's supposed to be up in there being my admin. But if you got stuff to talk about or questions to ask about witchcraft, put them in the chat, or you can ask to come up in a box. There's a little thing over here, at least on my screen. There's two little people, a blue one and a pink one. And you can ask to do that. Can you put different deities together from different pantheons? I'm not opposed to that. I think they all come from the same source. The one exception to that, Santa Muerte. Don't put her with anyone. She needs a shrine all to herself. She's a jealous bitch. There are certain orishas that don't get along, and you got to learn about that if you're working with the orishas and keep their candles and statues, far from each other. How do you make the gift thing for lives? It was in settings, uh, su- suggested gifts, or gift wish list, something gift wish list, something. Can you confirm as a devotee? Uh, you talking about Santa Muerte? Yeah, I got a video right there. You scroll back, man. She burst into my life. I didn't do shit. I just I gave her shelter from the storm, and she burst fucking in. Should Hecate have her separate altar? Hecate's pretty malleable. She's worked, with all the Olympian gods and surpassed them all and outranks them all. Uh, you could, but I don't think you have to for Hecate. She's not really like that. That's what I was saying. Okay. Angelic Perez, or Angela Perez. Hello. How are you? I was confirming as a devotee and agreeing with you. Oh, okay, cool. Cool, yeah. I don't know if you saw my video. I did not know who she was and just offered her a space. This woman came into my shop when I wasn't there that was rescuing Santa Muerte statues from roadside shrines in Mexico that were about to be torn down, and asked if we could give space for those statues. And my shop, unfortunately to my demise, was built more as a teaching worship space than a retail space. So it was always hard to, pay the rent because I had more altar spaces in my shop than I had retail spaces. And when Santa Muerte arrived, you can go see the whole video. It's much better told than what I'm telling you right now. But I've often described it as a clown car of death. They just kept coming out of this fucking car until I finally had to build a 3-level, 6-foot long, 4-foot high shrine in the middle of my 20-foot bookcase. So she took up more of my bookcase than I had books in my shop. And I learned, I didn't even know who she was. It was like, wait a minute. It was like, a homeless goddess? Absolutely. Absolutely, we'll give her a place. I don't even know who she is, man. And but then before she got there, I learned about her. I learned everything I could about her likes, her dislikes, her wants, her not wants. I set the altar up with charcoals on it, an incense burner, some black copal, some white copal, little bottles of tequila, cigars, petitions and a pen, and within an hour of me opening the shop, the first day that we opened the shop with her there, this dude, I only saw this a couple times in my shop, and I would later see this in Breaking Bad, and then knew it was legit. This guy come crawling through the door, like this, crawl on his face with his head down, straight up to the fucking shrine. And immediately he knew what to do with all the stuff that I put up there. And then word spread. And Santa Muerte devotees were at the door every day when we opened, doing their thing. And a few people actually slid across the floor like that. Guard Owl, how are you? I don't want to say Alexa because my phone will go, what? Ahmed Shear, how are you? Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living, and we were just learning about Santa Muerte a little bit right there. Dude, you just made me adore you. Well, go, by all means, scroll back. I think the videos when Santa Muerte bursts into your life or something like that. It's got a lot of hits, but it's a true story. I only do true stories, but definitely a devotee. Now, matter of fact, my dog knocked her shrine over recently, and I still have a piece of her statue I have to glue back on her today. She was not offended. The dog was just being a dog. Sarah Bobera, how are you? Kevin Steven, how are you? Where the hell did Sebastian go? Well, I guess if Lux Lady Crystal was here, she'd be calling Sebastian. But she ain't here, I don't think. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, waiting for my admin to get here. But if you want to get in a box, come up on screen. And, you don't have to have your camera on, but you have your mic on at least. If you got something more extensive to talk about or ask about. Right over here, two little people. To me, it's like a pink one and a blue one. And click on them and ask to be invited over here. Cow XXX, thank you for following the live creator. Be sure and hit that the bell notification thing so you know when I go live. Thank you for following me. Just Kiki, how are you? Nicey, how are you? I see you like every day. You're one of the first people in my comment section, I gotta say. CJ, how are you? Again, in my experience, she loves when you customize her, so this just might be a way of saying jazz it up. Yeah, well, when I closed my shop, I found worthy homes for every one of those statues, and I kept one. And the one I kept was a rainbow version, because I learned, she's color-coded, You want her to, fuck somebody up, you go with a black one. Spiritual growth, the white one. Love, the pink one or the blue one. The gold one or the green one for money or wealth. Or you go with the rainbow one and she does them all. But still, Santa Muerte has a larger skill set than any deity I've ever known. That's a large bunch of stuff to cover. They usually just have a couple specialties that I'm going to call Aphrodite for love, that kind of thing. And I don't know what else I'd call Aphrodite for, really. Chris D. Valentine, how are you? Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. That's what I spend most of my time on the internet doing and talking about, and in real life as well. And that's why I ended up in New Orleans. This is the place to do that. This is the place to be that. I used to tell people, when they'd ask, what do you do for a living? I say, I'm a teacher. And they say, oh, really? What do you teach? I go, metaphysics and hermetics. And then some people would ask, well, what's that? I go, well, I teach witchcraft, okay? But here in New Orleans, I tell them straight up. Like, people, what do you do for a living? I teach witchcraft. I go, oh, right on. Angelo Bastion, how are you? Invite her to co-host. Why are you telling me to invite people to co-host that I don't even really know? If they were witchy or something like that, sure. But I'm still waiting for my admin. If you want to come up in a box, anybody, you can request to come up in a box over here. I did not call Aphrodite for love, but for beauty. Okay, yeah, beauty, that makes sense. Eros for God. That makes sense too. Bruce, how are you? Irish Arctic Witch, thank you for liking the live. Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. Yeah, keep liking that live. Tap that screen if you're just sitting out there. Help out. You can do something. If you can't send money and gifts and stuff, you can tap that screen. And then when you start tapping that screen, get 2 fingers going. Get 2 fingers going. Then you can get 3 fingers going and do it even more. Senator Larry. Are you really a senator? But hello. Susie, thank you for the roses. Lady Silver Willow Sage gave me a tap, tap, tap. Manuel, how are you? Uncle Bert's coming live from New Orleans, where we spend most of our time talking about witchcraft, magic, that kind of thing. And of course, in New Orleans, of course, we're going to talk about voodoo too. Even if it's a closed practice or not, if you're in fucking New Orleans and you're a magical practitioner, you're probably practicing some New Orleans voodoo, closed or not. Man, we don't give a fuck, really. Jenny, thank you for liking the live. And I love that about New Orleans. The 2 times I heard the word cultural appropriation in New Orleans came out of my mouth. And the person on the receiving end was looking at me like I was fucking crazy. Like, do you realize where you are? We took all of the cultures. This is a port city right here, man. Everybody came here. Everybody, the Italians, the Irish, the Scottish, the slaves, of course, the French, the Spanish, you freaking name it. The last battle of the War of 1812 was fought about a mile that way. It's one of my favorite places to hang out. You can scroll back and see the video called Other Dirt, where I teach you about using battlefield dirt instead of just graveyard dirt, because graveyards is so passe and everybody's fucking using it. Battlefield dirt, especially victorious battlefield. Well, what happens, the British showed up here, and on our side, we had the Americans, the French, the Spanish, freed slaves, and pirates fighting the fucking British. It was an epic fucking battle, and I'm not going to ruin it for you. Go back and watch the video, Other Dirt, and I'm sure you're going to learn stuff that you didn't see anybody else talk about, because until I talked about it, ain't nobody out here ever, and I don't like to use absolutes, talked about battlefield dirt. Battlefield dirt. And the thing is, where I stand on that battlefield is the side of victory. And on the other side of the ramparts, the side of defeat. Both of those battlefield dirts can be useful if you get your witch mind involved and wrap your head around it. But I don't want to spoil it. Go back and see that video. You like that one? Good. I just stumbled on it one day. I was doing DoorDash, and somebody ordered food to that battlefield, and I'm just like rolling in, but whoa, what is this? Oh, after I deliver this food, I'm gonna go on break for a little while. This is where I have my lunch. Most days, I'll have my lunch at that battlefield. I love it. It's one of my favorite places to go. I've thought about it here because the cemetery has veterans. It's a bit different. Yeah, well, there too, just beyond the loser side, if you go past the battlefield, is the graveyard for all of the soldiers from all sides that died in that battle. And the odd thing I've always thought is it's a below ground graveyard in the lower 9th Ward. And those of you that don't know, in Katrina, the first place to flood was the lower 9th Ward. St. Bernard Parish, I believe it was. Yeah, so it's right in St. Bernard Parish. So, normally, we don't see below ground graves here pretty much everywhere because we're below sea level. But so all of those graves got flooded in Katrina under probably 12 feet of water. So I don't know if that unearthed any of those bones. I really should take a walk in that graveyard now, think about it. Quite ink. El Romp Core Zones. How are you, Uncle Birch, coming live from New Orleans? Yeah, but the floods make the graves sink as well. Oh, that's an excellent point. Rooted Pagan. How the hell are you? Thank you for liking the live. We are at 16.3 thousand likes. You can help. Brings more people to the broadcast and keeps the haters from being able to take down our video. Yesterday they were trying to accuse me of harassment and bullying to try and take down my video because they'll lie if they have to. But tap the screen, get the 2 fingers going, get 3 fingers going. I mean, 9 is the number of the other world in the Celtic. I've never heard it being the number of the dead, but technically, over the 9th wave in Celtic is the other world. Doing fantastic. Great. Hey, does it want the hose again? Hey, it shuts the fuck up, or else it gets the hose again. My fan club has completed the first stage of Fan Club Quest. Club Cheers has been unlocked for all fans to send and celebrate. Oh, well, there you go. Whatever the fuck that is, I really need to learn about the fan club. I don't know nothing about it. I'm in this discussion when I went and volunteered. Heard a groundskeeper talk about it. Oh, I don't know. Oh, and you're already doing club cheers. Look at that shit. Irish Arctic Witch knows the fan club stuff. I just need to learn about it. I should probably be posting videos or doing something over in that fan club. You know, I'll get to it. I'll get around to it. I'm a busy man. There's a lot of witchcraft to talk about. And Nicey's liking alive. Yeah, I think Nicey's got 2 fingers going. That looks like 2. Yeah, she got the 2 fingers going, I think. Yeah. It's active people who send heart. Yes, absolutely. And Pam, thank you for the $13 in Cash App. It's always a good number. Maybe are you group 13? I don't know if you have a different name over here, but if that's your name in Cash App, thank you for that. Link for the Cash App and the Venmos up in my bio, right up there. And also for Witch School, if you want to learn more witchcraft when I'm not on the air, then there you go. That's where you can go do that. I had a question to ask. Do we actually fly? It's more of a spiritual flying. It's not quite astral projection, but something akin to astral projection. During the times when those pictures were taken of witches astride broomsticks, the rituals tended to be done naked. And the broomsticks tended to be anointed with a thing called witch's flying ointment, which is close to poisonous, especially if you do it internally. And sliding, Pickle Pagan, how are you? Sliding on those broomsticks anointed with witch's flying ointment often did get the ointment into some of the body cavities, shall we say, making the flying ointment more intense. And if you didn't, die, you would fly. Yes, they were tripping. I mean, one thing we got to understand, old Druidic poetry called the blue star the gateway to enlightenment. The blue star was the heavenly blue morning glory. And the seed of the heavenly blue morning glory is where they synthesized LSD. So the Druids were doing this stuff before anybody else was doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you ever see like a picture, a depiction of a fairy, and there's a mushroom in the picture, unless the person's really stupid that painted it, the mushroom is red with white spots on it. It's called the fly agaric. There's several other names, but it is the actual magic mushroom that was used to get into the fairy realm. And it was also very poisonous, very dangerous, and you had to get the dosage right. Let's see, fly agaric. I'm trying to think of the other names. I'm sure somebody's going to throw it in there. But Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans. Sebastian's here. Go do your job, man. Oh, I got to bring you up? I probably got to bring you up. I don't even see Sebastian. I know he's here. There you are. All right. I got my moderator coming up over here, and then we can get people up in boxes. The morning glory trip is not a fun one. Well, depending on how you do it, see, I didn't know that you were supposed to boil the strychnine off the seeds. So I was partial tripping and partial near-death experiencing. And I remember it was MTV, when MTV had like 10 videos, and it was like that Star Wars scene, the first jump to light speed. That's what it was like. I was thrown back against my chair like a ship was taken off, and the whole world just went whoosh. And then I had a near-death experience, and still a witch when I came back, but a whole different kind. that changed me. But with the L stuff, one thing I always noticed when I was a kid is I would find enlightenment on every trip, but then in the morning, that enlightenment didn't add up. It didn't make any sense. I'd write shit down that made no sense in the morning. It made sense when I was tripping, but with the shrooms, every time was a change, an enlightenment that was still there in the morning. Every revelation was still a revelation after I came down. So I'm not encouraging anybody to do that, but I'm just talking about my experience. I don't enjoy it either. I much prefer mushroom. Yes. Yes, me too. I never really, well, the one time I ever had a bad trip with that was the time I was trying to talk myself down. Hey, do you want the hose again? Want the hose again? It shuts its fucking face or else it gets the hose again. Okay? I ain't fucking around with you today. All right. We're clear. Bijan, how are ya? Sorcerer Dan, how the fuck are you? You should come up in a box, man. And where's Sebastian? I invited Sebastian. He's my moderator. Why aren't you in a box? I'm gonna dock your pay, Sebastian. Which should be easy since I don't pay him. But yeah, I'm gonna dock your pay 100%, man. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans. Hopefully we get Sorcerer Dan up here in a box. I'm sure he'd be good to talk to. But I'm Uncle Birch, coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. That's what I spend most of my time talking about, most of my time doing, most of my time on social media. I'm still obsessed. 45 years later, my obsession has not waned, so clearly it was not a fad. People said it would. It'll pass. It'll pass. It's a fad. It's a trend. Clearly, 'twas not for me. Elizabeth, how are you? Birds come to you live from New Orleans. We are at 19.5 thousand likes. Thank you for continuing to like the live. That keeps our haters at bay and attracts more attention, brings more people over here, and it's always better to have more people here than fewer people here. I don't know where the hell Sebastian went, but hopefully we'll get him in here to come up in the thing. I did invite him, and then he disappeared. Maybe the internet doesn't work in the UK right now. I don't know. But if somebody wants to get up and have more extensive conversation, there's a little thing over here, a little blue guy and a red guy. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw an invite out. There we go. What are you doing New Year's Eve? Oh, we're going out, man. We're going way out on a long journey, all the way across the street to the neighbor's house, where they are really good cooks. Got a question for you. How do you know, or how do you know that witchcraft was right for you? It called to me when I had an awakening at 9 years old. Eventually learned to just sit with that and not talk to it about with my Catholic parents, and then it evolved on its own until I was 13 years old, when I was drawn through a bunch of circumstances. I'm sure there's a story down in my thing about it, to this witch store, and then I just kind of never left. And then when they invited me to take classes there, I remember the first 2 weeks of classes was sitting there. I had a pen and a notebook, and I was ready to take a note. And there wasn't any notes in my notebook after 2 weeks, because everything they said was something that I knew, that I thought only I knew. And I thought I had made it all up in my head from 9 years old to 13. And then, so I'm still a little cocky and a little arrogant about it, because my inner child is saying, well, I'm glad you're here in my practice. I'm glad you came over, but it's mine. It's mine. I own it, bitches. So the revelation there was that there was other people outside my brain practicing the exact same things, the exact same way that I had conjured up in my head from 9 years old to 13 years old. So that's probably when I knew it was right for me. That was a pretty good revelation there. I was in the library searching by index cards. You're talking about the Dewey Decimal System is what you're talking about. And so I can tell you're older. Remember microfiche? My God. It was such advanced technology at the time. The Dewey Decimal System. All right, I did invite Sorcerer Dan, but he doesn't seem to be getting up here. I'm sure that would have been a good talk. 4 people are peeking in. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Click on the live. Just click on it. What are you scared of, you lurkers? Lurking there in the darkness. Eric Cologne, salam alaikum. How are you? Mary Bella, how are you? Aquarius is still here. That's different. Jan, how are you? Good to see you, Eric. Hope you're having good holidays and shit. How can you tell if people are lurking on the live? It's a new thing. It said 4 people are peeking in on the live. I mean, I do that often. I'll go to somebody's live and watch it just in the search thing. And I'll search for their account and just watch it in that little window and not actually click on the live. Because quite often I do that and it, their live suddenly becomes about me. They sort of go, oh, hey, Uncle Birch, and people, hey, Uncle Birch, and great for my fucking ego and stuff, but I don't want to, hijack their fucking lives. So I watch a lot of people. I might be watching your lives, and you will not know it. But if you see that little thing that says people are peeking, that might be me. But it's a new function that just started popping up. Yesterday was the first time I saw it, I think. But it seems to be a new function in TikTok. Cindy Vasquez, how are you? Some people is asking me if I should invite them to co-host. If I don't get my fucking admin in here soon, I just might do that. I come on here for 5 people's lives. I can tell when you watch. I see how I have the Vikings not warring. That was cryptic as fuck right there. But hello, Lux Lady, where you been? Did the Saints win? If they didn't win, don't tell me. And if you don't know, don't tell me. But they were down 3 when I came out here. It's just like, it was get too stressful. I couldn't sit there and watch that anymore. Narda Smith. Is it a lifelong process? It's not something you quit because you don't forget. I would say that. I mean, there are plenty of people, witches, that leave it for a bit and come back. That does happen during the Dark Night of the Soul, and the Dark Night of the Soul is a legitimate initiatory cycle that happens. Magicians have talked about it for millennia, but there are some people that can leave for a bit and come back. There's just some that never leave. But then there's plenty of kids that it is a fad for them. They do it for a couple of years. Especially like my age, starting at 13. Everything's a fad. But I look back, it's like, well, punk wasn't a fad for me either. None of the things that I did turned out to be fads. I'm still a punk. Still my preferred style of music. Punk or something hard, metal maybe, some thrash metal, something like that. But, yeah, I'm still a punk. Yeah, it wasn't a phase, Mom. Well, I remember my mom used to say that, and they used to clash with me, and my dad, showed up one time, even though I hadn't seen him in like a year. He showed up to help my mom burn all of my witchcraft stuff. And they always clashed about it, and then I just stopped talking about it. And just like when I was a latchkey kid, what the fuck are you gonna do? You gonna try and be a parent now? You try and take control of the kid that raised his fucking self? Now? No. That ship has fucking sailed, man. And then eventually, probably in my later 20s, my mom started calling me up and have me pull a tarot card for her. Or, if a friend had something go bump in the night, my mom would call me for advice. I always tell the story, like my mom was a devout Catholic, and I for a while, she worked her entire life. She died probably 2 months after she retired. I don't want to be that. I don't want that. We don't have a retirement plan, witchcraft teachers. So always remember the Cash App and the Venmo. Give to my retirement plan, man. Because I'm going to keep fucking doing this. Even, if it doesn't make me rich, this is what I have to keep doing. So, I did figure out how to make a living out of it, eventually. I did it for a long time where I was working a second job to pay the rent on my witch store. That's okay. Just, trust me with your subconscious, Jen. Just fall asleep. And, if I program your subconscious, it'll be to your benefit anyways, so it'll be fine. But I always remember one time, so I'm sleeping on the couch Sunday morning, and I hear my mom outside kind of muttering. I can't really tell what she's doing. And so I go out there. My mom is kneeling in front of a rose bush, reading, I believe it was a psalm out of the Bible. And so I said, "Hey, Mom, what are you doing?" And she says, "Oh, I heard that if you read this psalm to a rose bush, it'll bloom." And so I said, "Hold on. Hold up, Mom. You telling me you are praying to the female divinity of your tradition to make a plant grow?" And she goes, "Yeah, pretty much." I go, "Okay, but we're at odds. We disagree. Our religions have clashed since the dawn of your religion, but we don't get along." Okay, whatever. That's the most pagan fucking thing I ever seen in my life. I need to get you on stage at Punk Rock Pride. Come play some punk, smash your car with us. Okay. I have a couple of people trying to get me to come to their festivals and do this or that. Like one person said, we can only pay $300. It's like $300 ain't gonna do shit to me, man. You pay me $500, maybe. It depends on how far away it is. I am the sole breadwinner for my family. My wife has MS, and is always trying to find some remote work. Has not had that in quite some time. And I, as such, she has good days, she has bad days. Some days she can walk, some days she can't. So all the meals, I'm doing that. All the serving of the meals, I'm doing that. Oh, was that you that was offering me that? Okay. I get my social medias crossed. So it's really difficult for me to travel. I need to take care of all things. And I knew that, back Mary, you were around when I met Marta. She was diagnosed with MS back then, and told me, she's very studious. She told me all about it, all the things that I could expect, and, had to accept that, I'm with my wife could wake up tomorrow blind, deaf, on a fucking wheelchair. I knew that before I asked her to marry me. So I knew what I was getting into. Yeah, I didn't see the long process of that, but yeah, don't feel sorry for me. I'm just doing my job, man. In sickness and in health, I don't know, God us forbid something happened to me. I don't know who could do that for me, but yeah, Australia. But so yeah, so it's really hard. People want me at their festivals. They want me to do, go there and do stuff, and it's really difficult for me to do. That's why I do Hexfest. That's one of the reasons I live in New Orleans. I'm booked for fucking every Hexfest until I piss Christian off enough to where he doesn't want me there anymore. Did you and Madame Marta marry in a legal way or hand fasting? Well, we did hand fasting first, and then we got married in a huna ceremony on the big island of Hawaii. Because at the time, Marta was studying the fairy tradition, and the fairy tradition is very steeped in huna. So it was just a perfect ceremony over there. Good daddy, oh, thank you. But yeah, so I love to do that. I'm just not sure that it's even possible. Maybe if you were like a couple hours away or something like that, maybe I could pull that off. Like for Hexfest, I just I load her up on stuff that she can eat herself and put it close by in case if she can't get around, and load my son up with food and snacks and shit. And then I go to Hexfest and I make several trips back and forth to the house. Because also, then there's the dogs. I got to let the dogs out. I got to feed the dogs. But actually, I can get Sasha's help with those things. But yeah, it's just hard for me to travel in that situation. I love to do it. Love to see people. Love to get on stages. You can't keep me off a fucking stage, man. Nobody ever could. Because when I was in my early teens, it became very clear that I was being raised to be a public speaker and a teacher. And I was very shy and scared of people. And I reprogrammed myself using subliminal persuasion and self-hypnosis to be a public speaker that would be able to teach. And I apparently went too far, because since then you can't keep me off the fucking stage, off the camera, off the fucking mic. I'm gonna be in your face. I cannot stop being in the limelight all the fucking time. That's all I fucking do. I traveled stages all over fucking California and the country doing activist music back in the 90s. Was on the pirate radio station 2 times a week at the very least. So I reprogrammed myself, and I'm a total advocate of reprogramming yourself. I just went a little too far, apparently. And I guess it worked out. I mean, for the life I have, that's exactly who I needed to become and exactly who I programmed myself to be. Too few men like you who choose to stay with someone with sickness. Yeah, I know. But I got the... Well, I guess I got the husband gene, but I got the father gene too. It's like I protect kids. If I go to the park and I see somebody's kid wandering off, I'm like, oh, hey, your kid. Hey. I'm just like, I'm protecting the kids. So protect my own kids, protect other people's kids, and don't play me on this. Some people have, but when somebody comes to me for work and there's a kid that's threatened by the thing that I need to do work for, I have seen the price go down. So don't try me on that. Don't play me on that. But, when, somebody's being cursed and they got kids in the house, it's like, my father gene is just through the fucking roof. Next thing you know, I've got to protect those kids, man. Yes, it's probably a Cancerian thing. Absolutely. How old is your kid now? Sam is 31. Oh my God. Well, I think Aradia is like 28 or 29. Kind of lost track. Sasha, you never met Sasha though. Well, maybe you did. Yeah, you might have seen him as a baby or something. Sasha is 15. And his first job, he's a paid researcher at Tulane University in his first year of high school. My first job was $3.35 an hour bussing tables trying to keep up with the Latino gentleman. One of my cousin's middle names is Aradia. Right on. Well, she, is the prime goddess of teachers of witchcraft. So definitely a patron goddess of mine. Her a version of her gospel was heavy in the teachings of my class. Matter of fact, if you take the older level 1 witch school, that's like a direct download from several years back. You can see how young I looked. That one has the secret gospel of Aradia in it. It was a very big tenet of that portion of my teachings. Manny, how are you? Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living, and of course, like they said, I do it at gumroad.com/witchschool. What the hell ever happened to Sebastian? He's been in, he's been out, hasn't been on the screen yet. I invited him, and he did not come up. Josh is 33 and Molly is 40 something. Oh my God. Time fucking flies, man. I mean, Santa Cruz just seems like yesterday. Me no. Well, if you don't know, I don't know who knows. Yo, brah, how are you? Uncle Bert's coming live from New Orleans. Team Pablo, how are you? They keep asking me to invite people to co-host. It's like, well, I don't even know Team Pablo. I don't know what type of stuff Team Pablo does, but asking me to invite him as a co-host. What I really would like is I would like one of those trolling Christians to come through so I can get him up in a box and have a debate with him. I love watching me some Dean Withers debating with those Trump people. Look, speaking of which, Josh, thank you for the $33 on Cash App. That's a magic number. Thank you, Josh. $33. Josh, oh my God. Oh, that's crazy too, because you just said that Josh is 33, and I just got a Josh donating $33 in the Cash App. That's funny as hell. It wasn't your Josh, was it? 33 is gone today. And they're asking me to invite this other person as a co-host too. Just saw that. Wow. Quiet. Nope. Okay. That would have been a hell of a coincidence right there. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. If you want to talk about witchcraft, if you got questions about witchcraft, you put them in the comments section. If you want to have a more lengthy conversation, you hit the little thing to request to come up in a box. Right here, the two little people, little red one, little blue one. You hit that, ask to come up, I'll bring you up. I don't have my moderator. I'm apparently going to have to cut my moderator's salary 100%, which should be easy because I don't pay him. Narada, thank you for following. Be sure and hit the little bell thing so you get notifications when I go live. I do tend to go live relatively often, and if people make it worthwhile and contribute to the Old Witch Retirement Fund up here in Cash App and Venmo in my Linktree thing, I will go live more often. I will go live instead of my side gig. If I can make a living more doing this, I'd rather do this than the side gig anyways. I mean, yeah, it's can be interesting driving tourists around town, but it can also suck ass too. Brianna, how are you? They're asking me to invite Brianna as a co-host, but I don't know Brianna. I don't know what Brianna does. I don't know what type of stuff, what type of content Brianna does. I mean, Brianna ended up here, so maybe there's something related. I don't know. Something the algorithm brought him over here. I don't know. Not another Mike. Not another Mike. How are you? Zadraco, how are you? Ocean's Child, how are you? I'll invite Ocean's Child because I've never seen Ocean's Child on the thing. So hopefully we get some people up in these boxes, have more lengthy discussion than typing in the comments. My town is nuts for driving. Oh, well, shit. New Orleans, man, stoplights are suggested. Turn signals are rarely used, and a lot of people are drunk. How to get my name? When the first witch store in Santa Cruz opened, somebody sucked me into working there because they wanted to leave, and they knew that they needed some person there that was a ringer, some person that really knew the fucking craft, and this person knew who I was, and so talked me into taking the job. It's like, well, yeah, I've been raised to run a witch store, so why not work at a witch store? What the fuck? And they had a thing where all of the employees were supposed to be known only by their witch name. And I wasn't going to give every schmuck my witch name, so I got a new one for that job. I chose the name Birch. Birch is the first tree in the Druidic alphabet of trees, and it is the doorway to the other world. And I've never known anybody else named Birch. I've seen plenty of willows, ambers, even oaks, ash, you name it. It's a tree name that I never seen anybody else use. And as I've become older, somebody eventually attached uncle to my name, and then it became Uncle Birch. Because I recognized that the day I wandered into a witch store changed my life and made me who I would be for the rest of my life. And that would be my job, to do that to people. I would need to be the doorway to their path. And I would need to know every player in town, every coven, every tradition in town. When a new witch came through, a new broom came through, I would have to know where to send them. At that time, I was not teaching in that class, in that shop. I didn't want to teach in that shop. I was teaching a few people at my house, and that was about it. But I was not seeking a large teaching thing in that town at that time. 13 Real Magic, and then we broke off from 13 Real Magic, and then they hated us, and then we crushed them within a year. And my shop is the Sacred Grove. Jenny, thank you for the rose. Lorena Rodriguez, how are you? Oh God, I'm trying to keep the sun out of my face. Somebody just sent a gift, thank you. I'm saying who you are. Gemini Rising, how are you? What the hell ever happened to Sebastian? I'm gonna look again. There he fucking is. Oh, friend's not watching this live. Okay, I'm gonna invite him, even though he's not watching the live. Fuck you, Sebastian. What are you doing that's so goddamn important? No witch store here in Oregon? There used to
No,
be.
I've got nothing important to do other than being here.
There used to be a shop in Coos Bay, Oregon that was from my parent tradition, but I don't know how far Coos Bay is from you, or even if they're still around. My first Wicca 101 group was the Enchanted Grove. I was 21. Right on. Hello, Sebastian.
Hello. Hello, Pulpit. Hello, Pulpit.
How are you, mates?
Doing alright, how's you?
I'm good. Gardell, you didn't miss a whole lot, man. Too far. I travel by bus. Okay. All right, we've got our moderator up here, so if you want to get in the box, I believe it looks like two little people, like it looks for me. When you request.
I can also invite, so there's that too.
Yeah. I did invite Oshun's Child, but they did not come up. I'm going to press start, find drop-in guests. Okay, that's cool. Oh, Birch, coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living, and you can find out all about that at Witch School. Link in bio. Or you can go the hard way, gumroad.com.
You can go your own way.
I said the hard way. You should get
I
that.
know.
I mean, I know you don't get things straight, but get that straight.
That's impossible.
Clearly. Gemini Rising, join. You were just here. Maybe you got connection problems. You were just here a second ago. How are you joining right now? Uncle Birch, coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. You want to talk about something, you want to ask questions about witchcraft, you can put them in the chat thing. You can ask to come up in a box if you have something more lengthy to talk about. You can find my Cash App and my Venmo up there and contribute to the Old Witch Retirement Fund. And then also there's a link for Witch School. And also, there's also a link for Witch School 2. It just started working on that one. I've only put up a couple classes at Witch School 2, and Witch School, the people that do Witch School 2 take less of my money. So I'm able to offer classes a little cheaper. Now, I don't know if I have the one that Sebastian needs over there, but you can check. I forget which ones I uploaded so far, but tend to be 10 to 15 bucks cheaper than they will be over at the Gumroad site, because they take more of my money, and I had to raise my prices over there. I was on here. Now this account is acting odd. Yeah, that does happen out here. Gardell shared the live. Oh, Gardell, thank you for sharing the live with more than 10 friends. Thank you. And
Reposting as well.
Always people remember, if you're just sitting around, you can still help out. If you don't got money or something, man, just tap it. Tap that fucking screen, man. Then when you start tapping that screen, get
Finger the screen, bitches.
2 fingers. Finger the screen with 2 fingers. You can get 3 fingers going on that fucking screen. 4 fingers, man. You tap
Finger it. Finger the fuck out of the screen.
You can get so many likes in half the time, man. It shows things I looked up on the search bar that I didn't type in. Oh, that's weird. That's
so
weird.
You know what? So do you know what I found out? The reason why in this life I feel connected to the name Sebastian.
What?
Previous life I was a woman named Sabrina.
Okay.
So it kind of relate. Like, I don't know how far back in those lives it was Sabrina, but it reminds me a bit of Sabrina Spellman in that way. So I'm like Sebastian. It's just me.
I have a different philosophy on past lives than most people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I believe in particle memory.
Nice. I think that actually associates with it, honestly.
Everything that makes up our physical being are particles, atoms, and other things that have been other things. And every one of those has a vibration. Every one of those has an energy. And the combination of all of those things could be what makes what we call our spirit in this life. And even though we have different atoms later in our life than we had at the start of our life, reincarnation can never answer the question of why so many people believe they were Cleopatra in a past life. Now, my theory of particle memory, everybody could have a particle of what was Cleopatra in a past life that is vibrating, is giving off that energy, is giving off of that memory. And then as such, we can all have been Cleopatra in a past life. Particle memory. 1500s, when did the names... Hey. No, you don't.
Well, in this life, I'm only 31, so it's bound to have been a thing. I don't know.
Shut the fuck up, or else it gets the hose again. Don't start that shit. You don't like the hose. I know you don't like the hose. I'll give you the... No, I'm not going to squirt my phone. No, biting the hose is not going to help. You're going to bite through it, and it's going to squirt in your face, fool. Hello, Birch, coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. That tends to be what we talk about here. You can ask questions or talk about witchcraft down here in the chat bar, or you can ask to come up in a box. We've got Gemini over here, who really hasn't said a whole lot yet, but is up there in the box. And we got Sebastian, my admin moderator, or whatever the fuck you are.
Yeah.
I could talk about all day, but in my past life regression, I never claimed any royalty.
No.
Yeah. The first time I had a past life reading, they told me I was a priestess at the Oracle of Delphi. All right, that's kind of interesting. Then I went and learned what the fucking Oracle of Delphi was. Yeah, that's interesting. Hey, you want the hose again? It shuts its doggy
Get
mouth.
that hose. Get that hose.
Hose again. I always remember when Sasha was young and Marta was changing him and putting like lotion on him. She had this little song, and it went, "It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. The lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. Lotion on the skin, or else it gets the hose again, 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 again." And Sasha at the again party go, ah, 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 ah. But if you think about it, if you know the scene that I'm talking about, that's really a twisted thing to sing at a baby, but he didn't know. It's okay, I'm smoking. Okay, yeah, don't get on camera and smoke. I try to stay off camera when I do that. Laura Lynn, Gen X, how are you? Uncle Birch, Gen X, coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. My gods, you all were about to make another what? When I had past lives, I was a cabin boy. Jenny, thank you for the like and the live. We are at 32.5 thousand likes. You guys can do better than that, though. You can do better than that. Get more. Somebody just said, y'all be careful with those fireworks. I don't know. Maybe it's the lead up. It's probably the lead up to New Year's Eve. But like last night was fireworks from hell all over this town. And I remember one time I asked somebody, we were having fireworks. I said, what's the occasion? Why are we having fireworks? He goes, it's Thursday, bruh. I can see a little face in your umbrella. Other people see it. My umbrella's got some weird blotches on it. Right? Oh, I do kind of see that. Oh my God, it looks like Doge. Okay, to me that totally looks like Doge, the dog from social media that became Elon Musk's fucking. Uncle Bert's coming live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. That tends to be what all these fuckers are doing here. That's what we talk about. That's what we do here. If that's what you want to do, well, this is a good place for you. So be sure to follow, like, subscribe, hit my little bell thing. I noticed yesterday.
Ring my bell. God damn it! Now that song's in my head.
Got a bunch of people yesterday join my Substack. I forgot I had a Substack, so I'll start having to populate my Substack. I'll start putting stuff up there. Remember, there's a face in your TikTok. Yes. Yeah, dude, that totally looks like, from my perspective, that looks like Doge. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, waiting for somebody else to get in the box there. Gemini, what are you doing? How's it going? What are you up to in your witchy world? Okay.
Oh, Sabrina's Ancient Roman.
Finally, look who gets in here. Jeez.
There we go.
There we go.
Right, so you can fuck off then.
Impressive episode.
I've damaged. I mean, I don't know how this happened, but one of my PlayStation external hard drives has just been damaged a month ago, and I did fuck all to it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Gemini. Speaking of Gemini, but this might be good for everybody. Gemini's talking about depression and stuff. There's this cool thing that we have as witches that has a dual purpose. Like we'll burn things like the resins, and frankincense has been proven scientifically to release negative ions when burned. So you get the actual frankincense resin, some charcoal, cleanse your house, gets rid of demons, and could be a treatment for depression.
Cool.
Lux Lady Crystal's all gussied up.
Are they hard to get?
Anyway, whenever you're cleansing, I want you to start in the middle of the room. And there's a certain way that you walk, and I need you to get every corner of the room. And after you get done cleansing each room, tell everything to get out. I like to tell it to get out the back door personally. And you always keep your broom on the front. But and it needs to be upside down, not down. And in your windowsills and everything, you need to put anything that is reflective. A lot of people forget to protect their toilets. Whenever you get done cleansing, you need to set all of this up.
Well, one thing that she didn't say, I add to that, cupboards, boxes, closets, anything that can close where something can hide from the light, from the smoke, need to get in there. And you open those cupboards, get that smoke in there, bang those fucking cupboards, man, drum all over your fucking house. Any place that something can hide from that shit, it will try and hide. You don't want that. You want it out. And then, what do we do, kids? We just banished. What do? Come on. When you banish, you must
Start at the beginning of the room, in the middle of the room.
Absolutely. So then we got to put something back in that space. Hey, you want the hose again? It shuts his fucking trap, or else it gets the hose again. Okay? You need to knock that shit off. Now you're barking at people. I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to get all gangsta on you and go sideways like that shit.
Ninja hot ass.
The Saints won? Oh my God, really? Marta just told me. Wow, they just ended? That must have gone into overtime or something. Wow. Never cleanse. Oh, you got to do it. Covers the oven. You don't want demons in there when you're cooking your food. Yeah, so the closets, cupboards, anything that something could hide from the light, and you got to include that in your cleansing. Use Florida water, wipe down covers and counters and everything. Yeah, I like that. I don't like the corporate Florida water. That's crap. But we can buy it here in the supermarket. In New Orleans, it's everywhere. Liquor stores, supermarkets, they all have that same shit. But yeah, okay, homemade. Yeah, homemade Florida water is going to be better.
I feel
Claudia,
like
Priestess, how are you? JD, how are you?
it's more sufficient whenever you make your own Florida water.
Absolutely.
No, it's not the right one.
Now, kids. We've got to remember to not be like the woman that owns Sassy Magic. When we make stuff like Florida water, we know, because we're smart, the oil doesn't break down in water. So what do? Now, a friend of mine uses Everclear. A little shot of Everclear on top of the water breaks it down. I use witch hazel. Witch hazel has alcohol in it too. I just do a squirt of witch hazel on the top of that, and those oils will break down in that water. Yeah, that's like $1,000 fucking secret I just gave you, man. So remember the Old Witch Retirement Fund. It's right up here on my link there. The Cash App and the Venmo. Oh my God. Another $33. Who's that? Paula? Thank you, Paula. Were you just waiting for me to talk about that so you could do it right fucking then? Thank you, Paula. That fucking helps. Everything fucking helps. And if it gets lucrative enough, man, you'll have yourself an Uncle Bert's reality show, man. I'll just be live, fucking 24/7. You could you could watch me sit around and watch TV. Oh Lord! In the bathroom, you can put salt in your toilet and sink and tub, and use Florida water on the bathroom mirror. Absolutely, yeah. Don't use oils in the toilet. Don't use the Florida water in the toilet. Those things, anything oily can build up in there and become a blockage. The Gray Wizard, how are you? Guard Owl still liking the live. We are at 34.5 thousand likes. Keep it up, y'all. Keep tapping the screen. Use 2 fingers tapping the screen, 3 fingers tapping the screen, 4 fingers. Get off 5 fingers. Like this. Like just on that fucking screen. I can't see it when you're doing it right now because I have the boxes up. But still, oil and water doesn't mix. Yes. Yes. And I couldn't believe that, the store owner of Sassy Magic didn't know that and said that to my face. The water mixed. That's almost as bad as circles having corners. Guitar hands! Yeah, get the guitar hands going. Absolutely. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. If you got stuff to talk about witchcraft-wise, you put it in the little chat thing, or you ask to come up in a box, and that's where you hit the 2 little people there. Claudia Art Priestess, how are you? Laura Lee Gillespie, how are you? Sebastian's liking the live. She said that. Oh my God. Spooky Scottish, how the hell are you? Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans, where I teach witchcraft for a living. It's what I've been doing for 45 years, and I'm clearly still obsessed with it because I just can't stop. I don't stop. Don't stop. I just keep teaching witchcraft. Even, in years when it wasn't fucking popular, in years when it fell by the wayside, in years when we didn't have movies like The Craft and Practical Magic coming out, Sabrina, to repopularize witchcraft. I still did it. Shannon is not very bright. No, they are not very bright at all. Najori, how are you? Uncle Bert's coming live from New Orleans. Mao, how are you? Nicey's liking the live. Thank you, Nicey. She's been working hard. Nicey's one of the first people I see every day. Like, I go to my comments every day, and I try and comment on everybody's comment, and she's always like the first one in the comments. I know how she does that, but it's happening a lot. That one video about Sean Wilde calling ICE is just been blowing up. It's like 200, somewhere in the 200,000s, and I'm getting like, sometimes it'd be like 95 followers an hour. I've had that happen before, so I've just been watching it, and I was barely at 11K just like a month ago. Now I was at 12.5 when we started this, so we'll see where we are then. Oh my God, Sabrina is associated with Rivers. Yeah, there's Sabrina the Teenage Witch that helped popularize some shit too. Damn it. Give me more clouds, because this umbrella keeps swinging around. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans. There's only one New Orleans. It's like New Orleans, right? And there's a New England. And there's a New Hampshire. So I know there's an England. Is there a Hampshire? And is there an Orleans? Why are we New Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
Where else? Where's Orleans?
There's Hampton.
There's Hampton. Where's that?
Hampton.
Is that England?
There's Southampton, which is near London. Yeah, it's in England. There's Hampshire. There's the Staffordshire. There's Southampton, but I don't know if there's
All right, apparently there's an Orleans in France. That makes sense. We are a
Yeah,
You know, for them to send ICE to this fucking town, it's the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard. We are the most fucking immigrant town in the fucking country. We are a port city. We are where Ellis Island sent their overflows to. We have every immigrant community. She's like posing over here, man. You see her? I can't hear you, but I can see you.
Oh, I'm
Pronounce
talking. I'm
Leo.
like, why would you send it there? You were, oh my lamb, oh my lamb. That's crazy work, crazy.
Hampshire is a port country too. Okay. Irish Arctic witch, cool. Sabrina was a rare name, more common in medieval times. Huh. Hampshire, UK. I've seen several witches over the years name their cats Pyewacket, and that's usually from the Bell Book and Candle movie where they got that old black and white Jimmy Stewart movie about witches. It's a good movie, but there was literally one of the trial records of one of the witches that they killed had a familiar named Pyewacket. I think she called it an imp. My imp's name is Pyewacket, it said in the trial transcripts. But that was mostly bullshit that they made up anyways. My kids named our cat Fart. You know, one time, my tabby cat, one of my tabby cats, I was petting him and I touched his stomach and he just like howled in pain. I touched him again, he just howled in pain. He was in so much fucking pain. Went to the vet and so the vet starts like pushing around on him and his cat let out this long, loud 60-second fart. And it was a $60 fart. $60 fart, right there. I guess actually that's pretty cheap for a vet visit now, but rising my kids call one of my cats fat. That cat probably shits on the kid's pillow. Cats are vengeful.
Probably barks on the pillow too, giving them pink eye.
Yeah. Lady Silver Willows all over the Sabrina thing. 1700 time frame is what I found. Macho Man, Rel, how are ya? Digby, how are ya?
British Wi-Fi is so unreliable.
Yeah. Pickle Pagan's back, how are ya? Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans with a bunch of witches over here from all over the goddamn place. You can be one of them. You can get up in a box. We're closing up on 4 o'clock, and you know what happens to me around 4:20? Just saying. Digby, how are you?
He becomes Shaggy Rogers.
Everything you say is so dirty.
I know. I wasn't meaning that dirty, but now that you've made me think of it, yes.
Oh yeah, we know what a Roger is, and we know what a shag is. You know what you're saying. Don't be fronting with me.
I know. What I didn't. I mean, okay. So Irish Arctic, which provider have you? Gone with Vertaphone, and they are shit.
Howdy,
Oh,
howdy.
you've got EE! Lucky fucking you! You've got EE! I've got fucking Vertaphone. Damn it!
How the
How's
hell
it
are
going?
you, Gardell?
I'm doing good. How are you all doing?
Good. Where are you from?
I seem to have been getting a phone call as I joined. Anyway, I heard dirty witch talking, so that caught my attention. I'm in.
That'll do it. Where are you from?
I'm originally from El Paso, Texas. I currently reside in Seattle.
That's much better.
Yeah,
Stay there.
definitely. It's not very kind in Texas, from what I've heard.
Yep.
I'm actually from the far west armpit where it all goes down. I'm originally from El Paso, Texas. It's a border town. Our sister city is Juarez, Mexico. So you can imagine.
Oh my God, they're trying to flag me for something. They're trying to flag me for making somebody feel uncomfortable.
Weird.
You know, my wife often told me she's a career editor for a newspaper, and the job at the newspaper was to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So sometimes it's necessary for people to be made to feel uncomfortable to make shit happen. Danieth, how are ya? Velte, how are ya? Yeah, they're always trying to flag me, but we're at 36.9 thousand likes. So if you keep tapping that screen, liking us more than they can hate us, then they lose. And that's what should happen to them.
So how is New Orleans these days?
It's great. Right now, I guess the National Guard's showing up. But, you know, we had that terrorist thing last year, so of course they're going to come here. But it's not like the terrorists are going to do it 2 years in a row.
No. Wow.
I was gonna make a very dark humor joke on that. You ready for it, or do you think it's gonna be welcomed?
I don't know. Whoever's been getting butthurt might want to leave the room then.
Right, because because oh my god, I was gonna say, is it not twice in a row like the Twin Towers?
Oh,
Yeah. Digby knows me from the Sacred Grove. How the hell are you? I just followed you back. We got somebody else here that is from the Sacred Grove too. Took all my classes there. I don't know if she's still here, but she's been here most of the time, so she's probably still here.
So, I was wondering if you could pick me up on some stuff that happened, I guess, over a few years ago, Uncle Birch. So it's been a handful, several years since I was last in New Orleans. I spent time at the New Orleans Chapel of La Santísima Muerte. Then I heard such in person took off. What happened to the rest of the chapel?
Are you talking about the one at the Botanica on St. Claude?
I was told that it got moved to Botanica, but it originally was off of Olympia. I remember because I lodged there for a weekend years ago.
Yeah. I knew there was this guy, what do we call Joseph Robichaux, I believe was his name. And I think he ripped him off for a bunch of shit. I think it's still there. I know they do have a huge Santa Muerte there in the center of the store.
Yeah, because when I first originally had gone, I remember Stephen Bragg was the one running it, and then I guess he ended up moving, and I was told that he left everything to somebody else. So basically, everything was still there, but it got moved, and I just never really figured out what happened to all the statues and whatnot.
I think it's literally about 4 blocks from here.
Oh, no kidding. All right.
Macumbo, I think it is, on St. Claude.
That's kind of what I've heard. Something Macumba, or like a metaphysical shop called Macumba or something like that.
Yeah,
But I never really kind of like looked into it too much. I never really, I just heard, but I never really understood like, how it ended up that way. And I don't know, I just thought it was very interesting because Santa Muerte always seems to have a very interesting story everywhere she's at, based on a altar situation at a botanica or at a metaphysical shop, such as your story.
Macho Man, there's, I can talk somewhat on Paulo, but Paulo's just not something you talk a whole lot about. So things I will say about Paulo are things that are generally known to the public. Paulo is a practice surrounding the Nganga. The Nganga is considered an entire Earth, an entire planet. It contains all kinds of various things, including 121 dirts from different places. That thing that I talk about, battlefield dirt. Paulo definitely knows about battlefield dirt. That's where I got that idea, because Paulo's I got into Palo because I was involved in a very large witch war, and I had large players assembled against me, including Orion Foxwood, um, uh, Mom Star, Susan Dumbass, like a whole fucking army of people arrayed against me. And though my traditions do cover magical warfare, I needed something a bit stronger to address that. And Palo is absolutely a warlike tradition. It's one of the few magical traditions that is entirely male dominated, to the point where it's what is that word I'm looking for? Sexist. There's a different word for sexist that I'm looking for. How it's connecting with your Mfumbe, yes. But Mfumbe refers to the bones that are in an nganga, and the bones that are in an nganga are whoa.
Whoa.
The bones.
I did that to make it more room for more people to come up if they wanted to.
The bones that are in an nganga tend to come from grave robbers, and traditionally, grave robbers in Cuba. You would go to Cuba, pay the grave robbers to rob the graves to get the bones to put in there. Now, in New Orleans, that's really difficult because possession of human remains is a crime.
If you don't mind me interjecting real quick, I have a question for you. Have you heard of people buying the leftover skeletons online and using them for the Nganga? Have you heard of this?
There have definitely been people on the internet that have done that.
Because those come with a license of and all that stuff, so that people don't get in trouble and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, it might be somewhat valid. I don't know, but yeah, they do have a license. But still, you still can't have it even with a license. Like a friend of mine has this skull that he has to leave in his shop in Salem because he can't have it in the shop here because those are the rules.
Interesting. There's this very interesting, small, little, quirky pawn shop, which kind of serves more as an oddity shop as well in El Paso, Texas, in downtown. I forget the name of it, but they have a handful of skulls for sale there. And that's when I was looking at them, and somebody else had told me, I heard that people sometimes will look for things like this in oddity stores that come with like certificates of whatnot, and that way they don't get in trouble. And then that same person had told me that they had found out one of their friends came across online that you can buy the whole entire skeleton that they no longer use like in colleges for like anatomy classes and whatnot. They just have them there and they sell them for a few $1,000s. And apparently people have now taken to using these now in Nganga, which I find kind of interesting. And I wonder what paleros, especially the elderly ones, would think of this and what they would say.
I think they frown on a whole bit. Yeah.
In the request, click cancel on your end for Lady Silverwolf so I can then send her a new one and she can accept it. She thinks it's on your end.
I got nothing. All I got is an option to invite her. But Cosmic Liddell, I heard it the other way around. You can, and I'm sure this is true. You can be a Santo, but you have to be a Palero first. You can't do Santo and then do Palo. You have to do Palo first. So you can go Palo and then go into Ocha or Santeria. But if you're going to do both, you have to do Palo first. That's the way my Tata taught it to me, and the way all the Tatas have ever seen. So. Yeah. Okay. That's right. Yep. And I mean, they did try to get me to do that. My Tata tried to get me to go into Ocha because he's also an Ocha practitioner, an Ocha priest. But a year of wearing all white, not being allowed to touch anybody, sleeping on the floor, carrying a wooden bowl around, and only eating my food out of that wooden bowl. It was just too much commitment. And in the life that I led, it was just impossible for me to be able to pull that off. So I never went Ocha. but I was called to Ocha and did not accept.
That's another interesting thing too that I had learned when I had gone down to New Orleans. It was the first time I ever experienced the religion Palo or being introduced to it. Interesting things happened during that weekend around that as well. And then a year went by after I come back home. I started to experience a few things. And I remember getting online. It was on YouTube, though. Somebody was live. I think it might have been one of your friends, Uncle Birch. Rest his soul. I forget his name. I wasn't too aware of who he was at the time. I think he practiced voodoo, though. Always wore purple. Very lively personality. I think he passed away about 2 or so years ago, something like that.
Hoodoo Saint Moise?
Yes, Hoodoo Saint Moise, him. And
Yeah, he practiced both. He did Palo and he did Haitian voodoo.
right.
He literally went to Haiti and got initiated there.
Oh, okay.
And that's probably where he caught. I mean, he went to Haiti several times a year, and that's probably where he caught the thing that eventually led to his demise.
Okay. Because I was kind of talking to him about some of the stuff that I had, learned about Paulo at that time. And as you were talking about earlier, it's very male dominated in that way. It's misogynistic in that way religiously. But I learned that some people that were being marked into Paulo, especially in New Orleans, were being done by a Tata that was gay. And so I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And Hoodoo Samois, he had told me, sometimes it depends on how much money you have to get marked as a gay palero. And I was like, is that true? And that's pretty much where we left it at.
Well, I'll tell you, Hoodoo Saint Moise was gay as fuck.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was
I know some bombos that have transitioned.
What was that, Silver?
That was cool. I'm not sure what it was, but it was cool. But on what you're talking about, within Palo, we are taught that the original pacts forbid gay people from being involved in Palo. But the Nganga and the Nkisi, the spirit in the Nganga, they don't fucking care. They don't care. I've known way too many Paleros to ever believe that. And as a matter of fact, me Tata was a gay Tata. He was gay as fuck. And he went to Cuba. He did it all in Cuba, the homeland of Palo. Palo's not African. Palo's Afro-Cuban. There's no manifestation of Palo until they get to Cuba. And so he goes there, and he literally, he goes to the grave and throws his chumalungos on each grave to decide which grave he's going to pay the grave robbers to rob the bones from the fucking grave. He goes to the Tata. He's about ready to get scratched. And they're getting ready to start the ceremony. He goes, wait, I got to tell you something before. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, I'm gay. There was this long, uncomfortable silence where the Tata just looked at him and cocked his head like a German shepherd and then went, and? So, well, in the States, we're told that gay people can't be in Palo. And he goes, that's ridiculous. You're a man, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, you have a penis? He goes, yeah. Does your penis work? Yeah. And he goes, I got no problem. So this is like one of the main, most prominent houses, the Viento Malo house in fucking Cuba. And they know nothing of what he speaks in the homeland of fucking Palo. So people bring their bigotry to their traditions, and the spirits don't have that. Countless times I've been told by people, it's like, you can't work with, hoodoo, you can't work with this, you can't work with that because you got white skin and the ancestors will fuck you up. And I always say, well, I guess you got stupid ancestors. I don't play white guilt. I recognize my white privilege, and that's a thing. But as far as being guilty about what my entire skin color did, No, I don't fucking play that. I did what I did. My ancestors did what I did, and I may have to be responsible for some of what my ancestors did, but unfortunately for me, I have no nobility in my fucking line. I have a long list of fucking coal miners and fucking redneck hicks from the fucking Appalachians in my fucking line. None of my family from the dawn of being here ever owned a fucking slave. And my Irish ancestors were treated as lower than the Negroes when they got here. Now, they literally said that in Congress, that they were lower than the Negroes. They were not considered white, even though they were the whitest skinned motherfuckers on the goddamn planet. I know what I did. I know what my ancestors did. And you damn sure better know that the ancestors in the African traditions know what I did and what they did. And they're not going to hold me responsible for what every person with white skin did. And if that was the case, they wouldn't have initiated me into Palo, and they wouldn't have called me to be a Tata in Palo. I wouldn't have got initiated twice if those ancestors had an issue with white people. So the spirits, the lesson here, kids, the spirits are not bigots, and they are not homophobes. That's humans imposing their bullshit on their fucking traditions, and that pisses me off, man.
Absolutely.
Your fucking bigotry to yourself. I would hope that when I free myself of this mortal coil, I will see the world through a larger lens, and things like race won't fucking matter. Things like person's personal sexuality won't fucking matter. I mean, they don't matter to me now, but I would hope beyond death that those things would just look fucking silly. Somebody's trying to come in. Did you let him in? Okay.
Well,
I
it's
was
like-
going to do it, and then they would cancel their own requests. I'm like, what?
Okay. Jigby, thank you for liking the live. I'm Uncle Birch. I practice witchcraft for a living, and I'm also a Polero. I'm a Tata and Palomayambe, and that's what somebody got me to talk about. But I haven't given away any real secrets, so normally, Apollo's like Fight Club. You don't talk about Apollo, but if you ask me a question, I'm going to talk about Apollo.
We don't talk about Bruno unless Bruno is talked about.
Yes. What is Lux Lady Crystal keeps doing stuff? What are you doing?
she's over there casting spells and
She's
shit.
doing like Blue Bodhi when she does Reiki on her lives. I've been trying to figure out what the hell she's doing, and then she was just talking about it. She does Reiki, and it's like, oh, okay, that's. Well,
So interestingly, if y'all don't know who Sabrina Wallace is, look up Sabrina Wallace videos and the human biofield. She goes into extensive detail about the human biofield and Reiki and what it all really is, and she pulls out all the bullshit, sewage, new age stuff.
Can you send that?
Oh, you've been listening. You've been paying
Absolutely,
attention. You've been paying attention.
I just got my attunement from somebody in NOLA of Voodoo. She is I think her name's Zahara or something. So yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm about to go into the second class to learn the ethics and all that stuff. What they're doing is they're drawing the Toku Rei. So without getting too much into it, they're drawing symbols for the Reiki when they're doing it online. I just wanted to explain that real quick, in case you guys were wondering. We're not looking too crazy out there.
No, y'all are definitely doing something. That is for sure.
They're ancient symbols, and there's a couple of them. So the first one's the Shoku Rei, and we draw it over the person, or when we're infusing objects, or we're doing it online, like long distance. That's what we're doing.
Way cool. Dig Me Marie. I remember you, Rachel. Absolutely. Good to see you again. I think I followed you back when you told me that, but Digby, Marie, Rachel here. Yes, I definitely recognize you. Yeah, took classes from me in real life. We've had two of those people here on this line.
Hey, how's it going, Jonathan Running Wolf?
Also, Gardo.
Yeah.
Voice is rather attractive too. Just gonna say.
I'm sorry. What was that again?
I was giving you a basic little flirt there. I was saying that your voice is rather attractive as well. So
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
God, you're
I've
always
got something,
shitting on
I got something
everybody
to
in
tell
this
you
room.
too, but it's a little private. I'll catch you on a DM.
okay.
The cloak, I remember that. Oh my God, take me way back, Digby. Well, good to see you again in the world. Where you at? Are you still in Santa Cruz? I mean, if you're in Santa Cruz, you must be rich, so be sure to contribute to the Old Witch retirement fund in my Cash App and my Venmo. But I don't. I rarely know anybody that still lives in Santa Cruz because it's just everybody's been priced out. Ohio, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm slightly jealous. Would love to have a cloak.
Well, get you Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft, and they have a pattern to make your own cloak. It's a great book for DIY.
Yeah. I've actually recommended that book to a few people too, so.
Well, Digby, we lived at Seabright Beach, about 4 houses from the beach for like 10 years. It was fucking incredible. That's why all my full moon rituals were at that beach at the fire pit, because it's like, if I'm going to take responsibility to do the ritual for everybody for 13 years, I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to do it by my house at the beach, and it's a cooler ritual at the beach anyways. And the landlady had not raised the rent for like 8 years. And when she realized that she had not raised the rent for 8 years, she raised the rent 8 years worth. And then we said, this might be a good time to close down the Sacred Grove and get the fuck out of Santa Cruz. And we did. The rest is history. Yeah, I miss those full moon rituals, man. I wish I could have stepped out of myself and watched that ritual. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but the entire ritual was done by me, a guitar, and voice. Those were my magical tools. And as soon as the ritual started, it just fucking flowed and went all the way through, and fucking was a magical experience, hopefully for everybody that fucking took part in it. But I've never seen anything like that, and I would love to have, stepped outside myself and watched somebody else do that. And I always hoped that one of my people would pick that up when we left Santa Cruz. And that is unfortunately part of the tradition of the high priest. In my tradition is there sometimes can come a point where the entire coven relies too much on the high priest and high priestess. And that high priest and high priestess are limiting the growth of those coveners. And it becomes duty bound that they leave. And so we left. So all of this came together at the same time. The goddess has her ways of bringing it all together. But at the time that the landlady raised the rent, it's like, yeah, it's time to leave. They all just depend on me to do fucking everything, and none of them are growing. None of them are becoming leaders. So we got out of the fucking way, hoping some of them would rise up to be leaders, and to my knowledge, that did not happen. So, but we have our memories, right? We have our memories. Have you ever
Is
found it?
there really a fake medium that's trying to scam us Wolfson Live?
What?
No, if you translate what Medium Vonote was saying,
Uh-huh.
it says, are you interested in a free consultation?
Oh, I didn't see that. No, I'm cool. I can do my own consultations, and I probably charge more than you do. Just saying, you gotta charge what you're worth, right? You want a consultation or a reading from me? 30 minutes is going to be $80.
Well, here we have different rules. So if I'm doing it at an event, or like they're watching me, because like I have a lot of state and city officials watching me. So like I have to tell everybody it's free. But like in person, I'm like, yeah, here's my thing. You can donate to me.
Yeah.
But I gotta get a state license so I can like do fundraising on a mass level. I don't know how to do it online here. Like, I'm happy to try it with some people, but that's just practice.
Well, okay.
I mean,
So I
I
I teach
I gotta learn how to do it online. I don't know how to set it up like you guys.
I teach old things that people don't remember. That's my forte. That's where I get all the everybody. Oh my God, that's so wise. It's like, no, it's not. Everybody fucking knew that once. People just forgot. The law of exchange is important. The law of exchange is related to when you banish, you must invoke. All things in nature are related, but the law of exchange is for everything that is taken, something must be given. Cross my cross my palms with silver. That's where that comes from in the psychic equation. Um, you can do cool things, events and stuff like that. But for the real deal, to really have that connection with somebody, there has to be an exchange. You're giving, they must give. For everything that is taken, something must be given. It relates to when you vanish, you must invoke. If you take something from nature, you need to put something there. All of these laws in witchcraft relate to each other and connect to each other. And if you can find a law that in witchcraft that doesn't and only connects to its own concept, then it's not a law. They're like a chain in a way. But doing readings to get business, I understand that. And people going live and doing free readings to get business. Okay, that's a thing. But once you get established, Nietzsche said that what a thing is worth is often based on what it costs you. Not just financially, what you went through, like bargain hunting. If you hunted all day to find the fucking cheapest thing, well, you just spent a bunch of your time and you didn't get paid for the time, and the money that you saved on the cheaper thing isn't actually cheaper because you spent all of your fucking time on it. Your time should be worth something. You should be worth something. Aim high. When somebody first gave me the idea to start a correspondence course, one of my favorite authors who I'd followed my entire witchcraft life was Raven Grimassi. And he was the only one I knew that was teaching a correspondence course. So I went over there and I looked at, what's he charging for a correspondence course? It was $20 a month. So I went, okay, mine's $35. Why is that? Because I'm a teacher. He's a fucking author. He's an author. He's stepping outside of his lane. Authors should fucking write. He was not a good teacher. He was not a good priest. He was not a good public presenter. But I am. So I should get paid more than Raven Grimassi for that, even though he was a bigger name than I was.
I remember the story.
You gotta recognize what you're worth. Don't aim low. If you have a shot,
I had higher prices. So like when I get my license behind it, like my regular session for average basic like tarot, oracle, or whatever, throw the bones, the runes, it's like 40, but my mediumship is 60 because that's tapping in to the other side and really connecting and providing somebody solace. So being able to do that online, I've practiced and I can do it, but I like to do it in person because I'm so used to doing it in person. I don't know how to do all the online stuff, make the all the website and all that. So I need somebody to help me do that. If I knew how to do all that, I'd be good.
If you hire me to do that, I'll do that for you.
I was
wondering.
wondering.
Let's rock 2026. I've got like 1,000 different spells. I probably could fill it up in like 20 minutes if like I really had that person to help me. Like it's like I don't know how they do it. How do you do it? Birch is just really, really, really good at what he does, and he's got a lot of experience in the technical. I'm just not that technical. I just need somebody to teach me.
Well, one of the things I am not is a medium, and right away, I got to say, $60 is too cheap. You're cheapening yourself. That's
Um,
that's huge. I mean,
well,
I would think of how
I'm
much I
not.
take on of
I
the other person's shit just doing a tarot reading, but you're actually channeling spirits and shit. That's a lot to go through for
I
somebody for $60, man.
I think in the when I get into the next Reno Psychic Institute fair, I'm probably gonna go like 120. In all fairness, like at an event, I'm gonna go higher.
That sounds
But like really, people in online, that's where most of my customers. So if I say $60, because they always want to come back, they think that I'm like this conduit for them. Like especially if you got somebody that lost a spouse and or like an animal and they just want to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. You got to give them a boundary.
yeah.
So if you tell them, okay, you can return and I'll give you a bonus, but then after that it's this again, you're kind of cutting them a break and like they
Yeah.
might want to work with you.
Like a coupon or a frequent flyer thing. Yeah, I could see that.
Has anybody in the room ever worked with one of those online tarot organizations? You know, where you apply for it, kind of like you're applying for a job, but it's for one of those positions, and I guess they like
You know, I was thinking
maybe
about doing that for Brian and Christian, but I was like, let me just think about this for a little bit because
Well,
I,
actually, I was just at Christian's house for Christmas Eve, and he was encouraging me to get back involved in that. It's psychics for hire, and
yeah,
I am on there. I have a profile, but he hasn't done a whole lot of work to promote it, and now he's like sinking all this money into promoting it and putting out ads and doing all this stuff to fix it up. And it's like, I'll go check it out again, but I'm just like sitting around for like hours and I'm not getting any fucking readings. It's kind of pointless for me, but I'll do it again. I'll try it out again and we'll see. It's still working cheaper than I work on my own, but we'll see. I might do that again.
well, I didn't see your name on there. I saw Charity, and that's how I found out a couple of years ago when he first told me about it. I was like, yeah, I might, but now I got to figure out what kind of computers and what kind of stuff do I got to do if I'm going to get involved in WitchCon or do these things. I got to figure out what I'm doing, right? I watch all you guys. I'm like, I can do this stuff. It's cake, but give me the technical stuff. I'm like at a roadblock. I'm
I
like,
just,
damn, I'm in my own way.
I just ordered a mixing board for the phone.
What is a
And
mixing board?
with the mixing board, it all goes through the phone, and I'll be able to hook up headphones, a microphone, have sound effects. There's a bunch of other things I could hook up to it too. But I notice, like, a lot of the people that have way more hits than me, like, I'll watch Dean Withers or something. Yeah, they got a microphone, they got headphones. In the headphones, you can hear exactly how you sound, and that's kind of important. I'm pretty good at controlling my voice, but when I was on radio, I always had the headphones on, always heard exactly how I sounded so I could lean into the mic at an appropriate time, back off, know when to give a breath. It's all a very subtle art that adds to the experience. So this show's going to be stepping up soon. When I get that shit, I'm going to hook it up. I'm going to get my microphone back from my son and get my headphones and all that. And we'll be sounding better than ever. But it wasn't bad. It was like I went to Temu. It was like $35 or something. It looks like a pretty impressive little mixing board.
Are you doing WitchCon this year?
Yep, I'm at WitchCon, and I just got confirmed for HexFest. WitchCon's right around the corner, so I need to go over there and see what I
Doing
said.
the interviews?
I need to go see what I said I was going to teach. I usually do that about 2 days before the class. And, nice mixing board. Oh, you got records on there and shit.
Oh, that's fun.
oh
Okay,
shit.
so that's what a mixing board is.
That's bad.
Okay. Yeah, I need to figure out what kind of laptop would be good to run all these programs and be able to do a class. Because that's the only thing really holding me back. Because I'm broke. I drop my phone. I work off my phone all the time. But having a laptop, like I see you, you're streaming virtual. He's over here on YouTube. He's over here on TikTok. He's on Facebook all at the same time. And how do you record yourself? Like I don't get it. So I'm learning.
That's why I got a mixing board for the phone. Long ago, I tried to turn all things towards the phone. When my shop's up, I run it through the phone. I do everything through the phone. I do WitchCon through the phone. Even though
Okay.
they recommend, they tell me that I should use a laptop, but I've used the phone every time, and nobody gives me any shit about it. I always have a good
Right.
connection.
That's why I declined because like I could be doing stuff like talking about graveyard preservation projects and stuff like that, or working with children and witchcraft and all this stuff. Like, but I just don't have the technical stuff. So if I learn it, and I learn from people who are doing it obviously well, then I'm gonna learn the right way. That's how my mindset works.
What
So
I always recommend, as I said to Bree before she did WitchCon, go live. Go live on TikTok, and you'll have all the skills that you need. You'll get the camera skills. You'll learn how to follow the people talking and answer their questions and all that. Just go live when you're ready for fucking WitchCon.
oh, and I'm good at the Zoom and the webinars and all that stuff. It's like doing the setup, plugging stuff in, getting it to work, doing the technical. How do you make your format in like paper and then put it on your screen? And how do you show them from like slideshows or whatever you guys were doing?
I'm low tech, man. If I got anything to show you, I'm going to do a magic marker on a piece of paper and hold it up at the camera. I don't do any of that screen share. I never
Right.
asked for a
Well,
projector.
they don't seem to mind very much, but they do some really cool stuff. Are you gonna do it too, Zed?
For fellow readers on here, I've just asked, what I was mentioning to you, Birch, with my situation. I've just asked if I'm going to receive this, and
Letterman.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, you got this, man. Well, y'all, I have gone well past the 4:20 hour.
I noticed that. I'm like, oh, you.
I'm sure Aunt Marta's in there clamoring for me to come load that thing up. So I should probably go.
Loaded. Join me virtually on the other side.
And God out. Message me what you's going to message me.
Make sure everybody's following me. Ring my bell to know when I go live. And always remember the Cash App and the Venmo for the Old Witch Retirement Fund. And I'll see you next time I go live. Who knows when that will be? Might be tomorrow, but hit that bell and then you find out. And get over there to Witch School. And that's also in my link tree. All right, y'all. Blessed be everybody.
Blessed be y'all.
Thanks for
Wait,
coming.
before you go, I'm needing to sort out.
And there you go.
Go.
Oh, okay. All right, blessed be everybody.
Blessed be.